Kindy Rockstars. Prepare for a treat, let's meet and greet some bands and singers that are super sweet, making music that's fun for boys and girls. Help them learn about this great big world. Fun for the family, yes it's true, your kids will love it and you will too. Clap and dance and sing aloud, become a part of the Kindy crowd. These songs will make you move your feet and give your ears a great big treat. So settle in, grab your guitars, and let's get to know our Kindy Rockstars. Hello everyone, and welcome to Kindy Rockstars. This is the show that gives you the stories behind the songs from some of the best bands and singers that are making fun, informative, educational, catchy, and occasionally silly songs for children and families. I'm your host, Patrick Adams, and each episode of Kindy Rockstars will feature an artist and a featured song. So let's get to this week's show. Hello, everyone, and welcome to tonight's show. My guest is a returning guest, Kathryn the Grape. And before we get into the interview, please check out episode 14 of season 1 for Kathryn's song Choosing Kindness, and episode 55 of season 1 with her song Just Be. So with all that being said, welcome back to the show, Kathryn.
Thank you. Oh my gosh, you've been so busy. Your show is just exploding with episodes. Thank you for having me.
You got it. All right. So tell us what you've been up to since we last talked.
Oh my God. To encapsulate. No, the pandemic was, or we're like on the edge of it, but the last few years has been very fruitful for me as far as writing goes. And I'm at the heart of everything that I do. I am a writer, words matter to me. So I've been writing more Kathryn the Grape books. Also, a ton of songs. So I've just been kind of powering out a lot of material because the live show and the live performances, all of our schedules cleared a few years ago. It was a really important reset for me, Patrick. It was just like this, it got me back to my true love is creating and writing. And you have to have space to do that. And so I've been busy creating, busy writing, busy producing, and Kathryn the Grape continues to grow and reach more and more children and educators and families. And I have other projects that I do that are outside of Kathryn the Grape, and those are growing. So it's like I'm growing an entire expansive garden of goodness with the media that I do. So.
Well, before we get into those other projects, I really want to compliment you on your brand, the Kathryn the Grape brand. Because I see your stuff, on social media all the time, and we chat. But you've got a very defined. I love the animated Kathryn. Some of the things I see you're doing with it is really, really cool. So,
sorry.
Go ahead.
Thank you, and that's taken time, Patrick. I started Kathryn the Grape 10 years ago. And this has been a long journey for me to get it to this place where the brand is defined, that I created just a few years ago. I made Kathryn the Grape younger, which is the animated character you see so much. But I had a lot of challenges. And I think that's always the thing, is a lot of times right now in society, we see people go like, oh my gosh, do what I do, and you're going to be rocket launched to the top of success, right? And that isn't the way it always is. And while that's been in other industries that I've been in, this media marketplace, it's kind of ever changing, ever evolving. And publishing, I started out in books, like as we talked before. And so the publishing industry has transformed over the years. But thankfully, I own everything. I own my brand. I own everything I do. I own my trademarks. And that was a decision that I made from 10 years ago. I started my company, Candid Unlimited, because of a few things that happened to some of my friends who were authors, where they were released from their publishing house, and then they owned that media. Then boom, it was gone. And so that going like, oh my gosh, if I got signed with a publishing house and then they'd own my character, and then if Kathryn the Grape didn't sell to their standard, I'd be gone and they'd still own it. So that was the decision for me. So to build something from scratch, it just takes time. And so I've learned as I've gone, I've made mistakes, I've made expensive mistakes, but I keep going, I keep growing. And I've gotten very defined about what I do, who I am, and the journey ahead. So I appreciate you saying that, because, Kathryn the Grape is me. I am Kathryn the Grape. And then having the character be kind of two different sizes as my series does grow with children. And that's kind of just been, everything wasn't completely defined when I started, but at least I started. I got on the road, I started walking. Oh, let's do that. I want to do that. I want to do that. And then I just I've built it with time. And I think I always want to be encouraging with people who might compare themselves to other people who might be rocket launching out of their career and go, that's cool. That's good for them. That's where they are. But if you want to be in the industry for the long haul, you got to build a solid foundation. And the foundation has to be energized by you, by your passion, by your creativity, by your love of what you do.
Yeah, no, you and I agree very, very much on the ownership of your work. Because, when I published my very first book, I thought about all those things. It's like, do I want to submit this to a publishing house, or do I want to jump into that self-publishing world and, obviously lose a couple of the things that a publishing house could do for you, but own it and run with it and grow it the way I want to grow it, and kind of let it be my vision. So yeah, I think you and I are strongly aligned in that thinking and how I would choose to carry everything forward with what I create.
Absolutely. And the market's changed so much, back, especially actually when I started Kathryn the Grape, a lot of publishing houses weren't investing in children's books because they're expensive, right? I actually published I publish black and white books too, for adults, chapter books. I just published a book that is far cheaper that's black and white interior than all of my children's books, because the color ink, it's just more expensive. With time, the production in the last 5 years, being able to produce quality colored books in America has gotten better and better and better, where you're not having to pay through the roof to some of these, different publishing houses, or not publishing houses, print houses. So, I've been through the whole gamut. Originally, I published here in America, or printed in America, printed in China. That was like 8-9 years ago. So I've been through it all. So I agree with you is that if you want to be in it for the long haul, and yes, publishing houses will help, like the traditional quote unquote publishing houses, the big, they'll help with promotion and marketing and all that. And that's valuable. But just like ponies getting lined up for a race, right? They line up all these people and let's see who can go the furthest. And eventually there's going to be a pony that continues to run furthest and everybody else kind of teeters out. I didn't want to have a race that I might have teetered out and then I didn't own my stuff. And so, and that's a really important, business wise, that's why I have a corporation. Everything I do runs through my corporation, because it's basically like a storehouse for all of this creativity that I create and then I help house for other people as well. And I think that's a really important lesson is the perception sometimes is what people want, but I'm over here going, I don't really care how I'm perceived in that regard. I just want to put out good material on my own schedule, without somebody else telling me that, what I can and can't say in my books or in my songs. I think that creative integrity is huge and important to me personally. And that's why the brand of Kathryn the Grape has been shaped the way that she is. And also I own all my characters. So like you said, you like all my graphics. Well, I own all those characters, so I can put them up. You'll notice that other people who have children's illustrated books, they don't own those characters, so they can't put up their characters. You'll see the difference. And so for me, it's like I own all these characters. They're mine to develop. And so I'll meet different kids and I'm like, oh, like this young girl who has a cochlear implant. I knew her dad from high school. And I kept seeing them out and about. And I was like, I've got to include Vivian as a character. This little girl has this cochlear implant, this beautiful thing. And so she's a character in the series. So I constantly can develop children that shine a light on the full spectrum of abilities and colorful, people that we all encounter every single day. And so I don't have to have anybody else tell me, oh no, that doesn't fit. I'm like, it fits.
It fits for me.
For me.
So I know some of your projects has included now music for, not necessarily for kids, more for adults. So how do you balance the two, and how do you sort of decide, okay, this is a song and this is going to be a Kathryn the Grape song, or this is going to be a Kathryn Cloward song?
Right. That's actually a good question. Well, I definitely write specifically Kathryn the Grape songs have that positive, encouraging. My brand is very much about feeling good about yourself from the inside out, the concept of rippling love and kindness and goodness from the inside out, choosing kindness. So the I would say spiritual seeds, right? Like the universal seeds of goodness that cross. There's no boundary to that. There's no boundary in love. And so to share messages that are rooted in love for all children and all people matters to me. So that's what I do. And that is who I am. It's not like I put on a hat and go, ooh, I want to write something about kindness. Like these are things that just matter to me, right? And then I am this grown woman having a grown woman experience. I'm a mom. I've lived a lot of life. And so writing my Kathryn Cloward music is really about, Patrick, honestly, it's like my journal writing through lyrics, and so you get to see and experience the more vulnerable, passionate Kathryn as a grown woman. And all of that goes together because the grown woman, passionate woman is who's writing and creating for Kathryn the Grape. So there's, I reference the rainbow in everything I do. And I constantly say the full spectrum. The spectrum is us. It's our true colors. That's what this song we're going to talk about in a bit today is all about shining our true colors. So for me to be the most vibrant woman that I can be, or that I'm meant to be, that I'm here to be, it's like, I'm like an octopus, right? I've got I've got Kathryn Cloward music over here and Kathryn the Grape over here, and I work with other people. And so when my creativity is firing on all cylinders, it actually works for everything. So they're all aspects of me. The balance of it is just kind of like where the energy flows, like where is the energy flowing right now? And right now, a lot of what I'm releasing, Patrick, actually is my Kathryn Cloward music. During the pandemic, I wrote so much. I wrote so many songs. And so some of the songs that I'm starting to release right now, I wrote in the last, over the last 2 years. And so I think it's fun. I don't think it's confusing to people because I always say that, like, I am I'm a woman, I'm a creative, I'm an artist. I don't want to just be Kathryn the Grape, and I don't just want to be Kathryn. I'm all of these aspects of Kathryn.
Now, this topic fascinates me because, the music that I do, I tend to, it's not really geared towards the itty bitties, as one of our good friends calls them. It's, slightly more advanced listeners, a lot of words that I'm, telling a story. But, I'm looking to appeal to both kids, older kids, maybe kids just getting into their teens, and also how to have songs that parents might dig too. So I find myself walking up to that line of, okay, maybe this song was made for more adult listeners, and I've got to try, okay, how do I rein this back and get it back into the kid realm? But do you have a very, like, Kathryn the Grape songs, this is from this age to this age, and there's no doubt that it's Kathryn the Grape or Kathryn Cloward?
I definitely know the Kathryn Cloward, like what I write for well, actually, I wrote a song I wrote a song back in 2015. That was the title track for my 2017 album, Kathryn Cloward. It's called Ripple Love, right? And this concept of that we ripple love from the inside out. It's just ripple love is just like my entire journey. Well, this song was so important to me personally that I rewrote the lyrics, but with the same chorus and bridge. I rewrote the verses to appeal for Kathryn the Grape, and that song's called We're All in This Together. I've used the Loving Kindness song that I used for Kathryn the Grape, and I've used a few of my songs across. That's an interesting, I kind of forgot that. So I have a few songs on my 2016 We're All in This Together album that have also been crossed over to Kathryn Cloward, rearranged, but the core is there. So some of those concepts, but those, some of those songs I've learned, Patrick, here's the thing about that I've learned in the last number of years of performing live for kids. They will tell you what works and doesn't work, right? Like,
Very
so
true.
you know if your song is working within, I don't know, 15 seconds of of whether it works. And so even you just learn, so some of these songs that I thought, oh my gosh, kids are going to love this song, total flop. I never perform it live. So actually all the songs that I wrote for the All Together album that I released last year, the Kathryn the Grape All Together album, I, in my mind, was like, is this a live show song? Is this a song that I can get the kids moving to? I wanted to choreograph dances to most of them. And so I wrote that album with the live show in mind. And that actually is very important to what I'm writing now for my next Kathryn the Grape album as well, because the live show does matter. Getting kids up and moving and grooving matters. And, they really like seeing me doing that in my videos. I mean, Patrick, the difference between my Kathryn Cloward videos and my Kathryn the Grape videos are it's like all sides of my personality coming out. But, I think kids like that. And then a number of the children they're not children anymore, but, because I was doing school assemblies all over Southern California, in 2010, 11, 12, 13. I was all over the place. So some of these elementary school age kids are now high schoolers, right? And older. And so they actually now we're buds on social media and they follow my other music. So that's what I'm hoping to bridge people over to is, hey, they meet me as Kathryn the Grape, but I'm not a different person. I talk the same way to kids as I talk to adults. I don't go, oh, yeah. I'm real with them. They appreciate that. So as they grow, and then they realize, wait, who's Kathryn Cloward? She's like a real person. Okay. Then they kind of move over there. That's the hope. I mean, that's the grand scheme plan, Patrick.
That is a very well thought out long-term plan. Love it. All right. Before we get into your song, I wanted to talk to you about a recent guest that I had on the show because you really were heavily involved in her creative process. And this is, of course, Michelle Hopkins. So I heard her story. I asked her questions about what was it like to get into the studio? What was it like working with Kathryn? So I want to get your side of it now. What was it? How did you meet?
I didn't get to hear her side of it yet.
Yeah. No, that episode will be out shortly.
Good.
So tell me about your side of it. How did you meet Michelle and how did you convince her to do an album?
Right. You're so funny. You're like, how did I well, there was no convincing Michelle. She was like, yeah, let's do it, So I actually met Michelle originally in, was it 2017 or 18? I'm sorry, I can't remember the year. But one of my good friends, a woman that I used to work with, one of her long-term friends is Michelle's mom. So Michelle's mom's name is Lynn. And so my friend Fran and Lynn have known each other forever. And so Fran got in touch with me and said, hey, do you want to help? Can you help out with this national or international NPS symposium that was going to be in San Diego, which is where I live. And so she kind of just asked me if I could help with the youth at this symposium. Next thing you know, I'm entertaining at the cocktail hour with my Kathryn Cloward band. On the weekend, I was entertaining the youth. And then also I had written a theme song for them called what we ended up recording from, it was originally called Heroes. And then we re-recorded it for Michelle's album, We Are Heroes. And so I wrote this original song Heroes. And then we all, it was really cool, Patrick, at the kind of like the big banquet with 1,500 people in this huge room. Me and Michelle, and then a bunch of youth who are part of the National NPS Society, which they all came up on stage and sang. It was so awesome. So Michelle, my heart was to help. I wanted to help shine a light on the rare disease community. So the more I heard, and why I did that, why did I write that song? Why did I put all that energy into it? I did it because the more I heard the stories of the families, the stories of Michelle, like the more I got to know Michelle, the more I got to know other youth and the parents, I was like, gosh, we really just need to shine a light on this community more, not just the people who are within the community. That's usually what happens. Like, everybody's championing for rare disease awareness who's in the rare disease community. And what the hope is let's shine more lights on that. And so that's really how the idea for Michelle's album came to be. I actually just woke up one day, Patrick, and this message was in my head. You and Michelle, you need to write an album with Michelle. So I call her parents. I was like, hey, you guys, I have this idea. What do you think? So we all just sat down and talked about it. Like what it would include, what was this concept, and really to develop this platform for Michelle. So we just had, honestly, I mean, my take on it, Patrick, we had so much fun. So Michelle and I wrote all those songs together. I live about an hour and a half, almost 2 hours away from her. So I would drive up to her house and she and I would just like have girl time. And we wrote all those songs. And then I came back to San Diego, got my team of musicians to work out the arrangements. And then we worked with a Grammy award-winning producer here in San Diego, engineer Alan Sanderson, and all these wonderful musicians we worked with. And the studio was super fun. It was high energy. It was fun. Michelle blew it out of the water. She did so good. And she felt very, very affirmed when we had her dad and brother and mom, they all sang in there, and they had to do all these takes, right? Okay, sing it again, sing it again, sing it again. And they're like, gosh, this is like exhausting. And she's like, see, I told you. But no, we just had fun. I mean, it's just high energy and it was fun and it was really meaningful, so we could take it from this high energy, like I am determined song, have hope song, and then bring out the vulnerable aspects of Michelle in her song, Rare Unique Me. If you have not heard Rare Unique Me, you have to hear that song. It's just such a beautiful, soulful song. I'm really proud of that project, and we're just continuing to grow that project. So I'm thankful that you had her on the show.
Yeah, no, thank you for introducing us. And for anybody listening to this episode, Michelle's episode will be out before this one. So please go check out Michelle's episode. All right, you ready to talk about your song?
Yes, I'm like energized tonight, Patrick.
All right. Well, then this is a very fitting song title then. I Feel Good About Myself. So tell us the story behind this song.
Yes. So I Feel Good About Myself is, okay, so this song connects directly to all of my original books. So I Feel Good About Myself features the 7 main Kathryn the Grape affirmations. I am magical. I am colorful. I am love. I am kind. I am unique. I am grateful. I am joyful. So in my older self-help book series, it's just called Kathryn the Grape Affirmation Series, which really is geared towards 6 to 8-year-old readers, like children who love to read. It's more word heavy. It's basically a self-help storytelling book, a series for children, like the same way we listen to podcasts and we read memoirs. It's the same kind of first person account of working through life circumstances. Each of those books focuses on this treasure box, this toolbox that I give to kids, and this treasure, this rainbow of tools that they get, right? And each of those affirmations are part of those stories. So what I've done in the last few years is I aged that entire series down to younger children. And I wrote a book called My Treasure Box with Tools of Love, which teaches these affirmations to younger children and the statements, I feel good about myself when, right? So like, I am magical. I feel good about myself. And those are the lyrics that are in the song. So it's a very simple, wake up and feel good about yourself. Instead of it doesn't have to be, I feel that we can instill goodness into all of us. Like this is a great song to drive in the car to school every morning for, but the concept of is I feel good about myself, right? I feel good about myself. It's repeated over and over and over again in the chorus. And then these affirmations. And why we say positive affirmations is the energy of our words. They ripple within ourselves and out into the world. So we can choose to say positive things. We can choose to say not so positive things. And so and I wasn't like, oh, affirmations are cool, I'm going to do that. I started with affirmations, Patrick, because, 11 years ago when I was going through my own personal changes in life, affirmations are what helped me. And so I wanted to help my son have these tools that I was developing, but that there wasn't anything like that at the time that was concentrated for kids. There might have been like a self-help, quote unquote, self-help writer who wrote all for adults, and then they have one children's book. That's kind of like what you would often find a lot of times. There'd be a star or some famous person who wrote an adult book and all this stuff, and then one children's book. So there wasn't a concentrated effort at that time on children having these mindful tools. And so that's what I started creating. And so I created those books. And then I realized they were too old for a large market for me, a large population of people like Kathryn the Grape are 2 to 6 years old, 2 to 7 years old. So I wanted to make sure I could get those messages to them in books as well, and then in music. And so I've been making my songs be books for a number of years now. And so taking that concept and introducing it as a song before I'm done with the I Am series for the little kids is really important. So I feel good about myself. It teaches these affirmations and these I feel statements, and it's all taught in my Kathryn the Grape Treasure Box of Tools of Love book. And then the first of those I Am books, I Am Magical, I Am Colorful, I Am Love, I Am Kind. The first of those 7 books for younger children are already out, those first 4. So, but for me, I just want to help why this song is upbeat and fun, and because I want people to feel good, like singing this, it's not like I feel, and it's not like it's to instill in you, like, I'm going to go out into the world. And there's so many parts of the world that we can see messages that can possibly make us feel not so good about ourselves, right? If we can instill the love inside, then we have developed a strong foundation for children, for ourselves. So that when we walk out into the world, we're so strong in our foundation, so strong in our truth and our colors that we deflect any and all negativity. That's my hope for children. So this song, like, just kind of is the whole spectrum of the 7 rainbow colors that I teach about, the 7 affirmations, the 7 tools.
All right. I love your passion for this. If you want, go ahead and introduce the song and then we'll play it.
Okay. So this is I Feel Good About Myself on my All Together album, and I hope you like it.
I feel good about myself. I feel good about myself. I am magical. I feel good about myself. I am brave, trying new things and making new friends. I am colorful. I feel good about myself when I am aware of my feelings and actions. I am love. I feel good about myself when I am helpful and loving. I feel good. I feel good. I feel good about myself. I feel good. I feel good. I feel good about myself. I feel good. I feel good. I feel good about myself. I feel good. I feel good. I feel good sharing with others. I am grateful. I feel good about myself when I am appreciating my family and friends and all that I've been given. I feel good, I feel good, I feel good about myself. I feel good, I feel good, I feel good about myself. I feel good, I feel good, I feel good about myself. I feel good, I feel good, I feel good about myself. I am joyful. I feel good about myself when I am simply being me. I feel good, I feel good, I feel good about myself. I feel good, I feel good, I feel good about myself. I feel good, I feel good, I feel good about myself. I feel good, I feel good, I feel good about myself. I feel good, I feel good, I feel good about myself. I feel good, I feel good, I feel good about myself.
That was I Feel Good About Myself. All right, Kathryn, tell everyone where they can stream and download that song and where they can find and connect with you, both Kathryn the Grape and Kathryn Cloward, on social media.
Awesome. Well, cool. To find out more about Kathryn the Grape, you can go to kathrynthegrape.com. So it's spelled Kathryn, the Grape, GRAPE.com. And then my last name is spelled like Howard with a CL. So my last name is Cloward, CLOWARD. So KathrynCloward.com is where you can find me. And I'm kind of like all over, but my music is on KathrynClowardmusic.com. So but it all kind of links. I'm on all the social media sites, and the music for Kathryn the Grape and my music streamed everywhere: Spotify, Apple, Amazon. I'm happy wherever you listen to it. And for those of you who have children at home, I'd love for you to connect on YouTube. My songs on YouTube are often with me, me moving and dancing and singing, and then also with lyric videos that are wonderful for children for sight reading as they read along and sing along. And then a number of my books that are also songs are read-alongs with the books. So Patrick, actually, one of my goals this year, I know this is super unconventional, but I'm actually making my goal for 2020 is to get all of my media up on YouTube available for free. Like, I want to be able to put it all up. So because I never want means to block somebody from the message. And so it's important for me to be able to go like, okay, if somebody can't afford one of my books, well, how can I make that message accessible? Okay, I can use YouTube. I can put it up on YouTube. So part of this whole, rippling out into the world is, yes, I want you to stream my music. I want you to watch my videos. And yes, I'd love for you to buy my books. But if that's not in your wheelhouse, there's some other options so that the message of goodness and love gets out into the world. That's my heart. That's why I do what I do. And I appreciate you having me on your show. It's always a wonderful opportunity. I don't work with a publicist. I've been grassroots my entire career. And so I'm grateful for the opportunity to talk with you and be able to share your podcast and get the message out about what I do. It matters to me tremendously. It's of great value. So thank you so much.
I love having you on the show. I love talking to you, and I love everything you're doing. So keep on and never stop.
Thank you.
All right. Talk to you again next time.
Yes.